Hey everybody, peace. Oh gosh, you know what I should have done? Darn it. Hi everybody. I'm just realizing that I need to connect to give me 1 second. Ugh, I'm doing the most. Y'all seeing my unfit body right now. Gotta tighten up. All right, guys. What's good everybody? Let me make sure that I'm live on Instagram. Okay. Ugh, you know, I'm 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 in shape, but I could be a lot better. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. So I just want to say thank y'all for being here. For those who have been following my journey, right now I'm sharing what's happening behind the scenes. This isn't easy for me to do, but I've always believed in leading with honesty, transparency, and faith, especially most importantly in this season. The season has taken me out of my comfort zones, particularly today. It has taken me to another level of just stepping out of my comfort zone and getting out of ego and removing the pride because definitely I have a lot of pride. And so today I'll be sharing the reality of what I've been navigating lately, and particularly today, the lessons I've learned through uncertainty and where things currently stand. If you've ever found yourself in a season where life didn't go according to plan, this conversation may be for you. Today, this conversation really is for everyone in my community and network, and uh, those who support what I do and have been doing for quite some time. You know, this has been rough. This last couple of 4 years has been particularly very rough, very unpredictable, very uncertain, and very challenging, particularly pertaining to my stability financially and housing. It has been very rough. I live in South Florida. It is incredibly expensive down here, but also, shifting from a mindset of poverty and scarcity into one that is more abundant in wealth. And it has been a ride, it has been a journey. So, peace, everyone. My name is Remedy, aka Shawnette, for those who really truly know me, or work for the government. I want to share what's going on, and I like to ask you all for your support. You all know, I've been talking a lot about it with the late bloomer. If you're in the building, you'll say hello. Shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in right now. I really greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, I've been talking a lot about late blooming and how, yeah, particularly when it comes to finances and like stability and all that stuff in career, it's been definitely like this for me. A lot of it, navigating paths that, weren't necessarily my chosen path, but were the paths I felt that were what I had to do and what I was told to do to be able to sustain myself while quietly like dying inside, literally, the average person or the common person would understand that, right? But like literally dying and feeling my life force being taken away from me and my creativity dying and dimming. um and also like seeing my health deteriorate physically, mentally, emotionally. And it's just like, I know, a lot of us, particularly those who are older persons of color who identify as Black American, really are just, about like, you do what you got to do, and you just endure it, and for me it's like it's hard for me to stay in spaces that are unhealthy. It's hard for me to continue in those type of environments. Like, I'm just not cut like that. I'm not, what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me. And so anyway, with that being said, you all know, like, I left uh teaching with the school system, and I did leave by my choice. And as a result, I faced unexpected financial challenges. I left under the advice given by two medical health professionals. I always keep a holistic doctor and a Western doctor, and then also my therapist. They all advised me that I needed to leave that employer, and that was even prior to the moment that I left, and just constantly telling me, like, leave, and continue to stay. I stayed longer, because bills. You got to pay bills, and how was I going to sustain myself? I didn't know how to sustain myself outside of that, so I continue to stay, but I also decided to ultimately leave because I know myself, I know my body, and I followed my own intuition, and it was like, either stay and possibly, die or have deteriorating health from being there, or leave and figure out how to sustain yourself. And I chose myself. And that is hard for a lot of people, particularly that are close to me, to understand, to get. Like, that's hard to get, and I understand that. I really do. But the job and its responsibilities, whew, they were beginning to take like a huge and adverse toll on my health, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I had planned to leave at the end of this school year, which just ended, but instead I left abruptly in January of this year. Okay. I had things in line, that at least I thought were in line, that I would get, that, that would help me through this transition. But unfortunately, everything just went left, and it just, I found myself in a situation that the plans I had, that wasn't, it didn't unfold that way. And then I found myself really trying to figure out how to generate revenue, how to um become my own boss, for real, right? I've been in this place before, but I've been in a position where, I had the money, and but even still in that space, I took a lot for granted. I took my time for granted. I took a lot of things. I act as though I arrived, which is why I ended up going back to work. And now this time I've really been making use of my time and really showing up, and really, like, coming out of my comfort zone, and more each day, because there are like new challenges that keep presenting itself. So anyway, in May 2026, I was behind on my rent. I fell behind on my rent in May. My rent is due on the first. I have until the third to pay, and then on the fourth I get a 10% late fee. And then then from there they issue you, on the fourth they issue you a what you call it, a 3-day notice, and then from there they begin to try to start the eviction process. So anyway, I fell behind on my rent in May. I sought assistance from Broward County Family Success Center. Broward County offered it, but my apartment declined to accept it because they did not want to sign a consent form that would require them to stop the eviction process in order to receive the money. Okay. And then I do want to make, it's very important to note that, my base rent here is 3150 after, like, my water and sewage, and uh parking, and um internet. It goes up to about 3400 is what I pay for rent on a monthly basis here in South Florida. Okay. um and I do also want to add that I was teaching full time, and when I was, looking for a place, it was very hard, because as a teacher here in South Florida, we're basically considered low income, but not technically. We don't make enough money to qualify to get an apartment like this, right? But we make too much money to be considered low income, right? So when we go to a low income place, they'll say that we make too much money, but then when we go to like a moderate place, they'll say that we don't make enough money, so I was like stuck in a hard place, that I had to put my daughters on this lease in order for me to get this place. And it wasn't easy to even find this place, because I was constantly being denied by a lot of places to get it. Um, so anyway, as I mentioned, I did seek out assistance. I was basically one step away from receiving the money, but the apartment had to consent but the department decided that they didn't want to consent to it, and it kind of put me in a really bad place. Okay, so I know you're probably like, just get to the point, I take forever. But anyway, prior to this, the apartment made it appear as though they were helping by offering to give me a stipulation agreement. They asked, and I confirmed numerous times via writing and verbally, that I was open to that because I thought that it would be a mutual agreement. Ultimately, they presented me with a stipulation agreement served alongside the eviction notice. This was not my understanding. My understanding was that we would agree on mutual terms that would stop the agreement. So, mind you, they had already been offered to receive the money. Even now, they were like, the Family Success Center was trying to find ways to help them, agree. Because first they were saying, oh, it's going to take too long to get the money to become a vendor and all that. And then the Family Success Center was like, all right, well, we'll give you, we'll issue the check before then. Y'all can pick it up instead of waiting 21 days. You could just, come, somebody from your apartment could pick it up. A representative can pick it up because they can't issue the check to me. So they was like, we'll expedite it for you. And the apartment still was saying no. And and that was early May. That was like early May, mid-May, and we're here now in June. So anyway, that the whole time though, they were making it seem like they were trying to help me, and that we're going to provide this stipulation agreement, and as long as you sign it and you do what you meet the terms of the agreement, everything will be fine, and we'll stop moving forward with the eviction. In my mind, they hadn't started the eviction. I've asked clarity, and I didn't know they started the eviction until they actually issued the stipulation agreement accompanied by the eviction notice. Okay, which kind of put me in a crazy place because it also said that I had to reply to the court in 5 days and put the money in the registry plus an additional $100 plus an additional 3% when I've already paid rent of $3,400 plus a 10% late fee, bringing me to $3,700 plus legal fees that brought me to 45 $4,551.53. All right. So my understanding was that we would agree on a mutual term that would stop the eviction. However, they set the terms and I had to pay what I owed for May immediately. And then they said that I had to pay June rent on June 15th and July by July 3rd. So I paid them the amount that I owed for May, which I just shared with y'all, plus the late fee and the legal fees that total $4,551.53. And I signed the stipulation agreement. However, I filed a motion to set aside, asking the judge to review further, since I felt pressured to sign a stipulation agreement under terms that I did not feel comfortable agreeing to. I did that on Friday. And then on Tuesday, I called because they filed a motion to move forward without prejudice. So I called the judge chamber, and they helped, the judicial assistant helped me to set up an emergency hearing. Okay. Now, my terms again were to pay May immediately, and then June. What I wanted to agree to was pay May immediately, and then June by June 30th, and July by July 15th, as mentioned, but the apartment did not accept that. During an emergency hearing today, the judge vacated the stipulation agreement and ordered me to pay June by tomorrow, Friday, June 11th, 2026, by 3 p.m. She kind of used my words against me because we went into breakout rooms, and in those breakout rooms, I told the judge, I said, there's no point in doing that because they're not budging. They want to. This is the whole reason why I requested an emergency hearing, because I wanted you to review this. Like, they were offered money, they wouldn't accept the money. It's like they put me in a crazy place, and like, my rent now here, if I were to leave here, or let's just say period, comparable rent here for what I have, my 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom now, is 4,100 base, right? And technically that's not even like this particular apartment, because this is a larger one, so it's probably about 42, 43, maybe even 44 as a base. So should I be removed from here, obviously they gain to benefit because of the fact that they'll be able to get more money. And it just feels like the court system is like in cahoots, you know, and it feels like South Florida is really trying to do like a cleanse to remove quote unquote poverty and any like they, you know, they don't care how you get your money, you know, whether you're a stripper or whatever, as long as you get your money and you make sure you pay and you keep the economy here at whatever level it is, because a lot of this stuff, it doesn't even make sense to call, like why is rent $4,000 for a 3 bedroom, and it's not even a house, it's a rental apartment, you know what I'm saying? um but yeah, so anyway, because of that emergency hearing, and she vacated the stipulation agreement, she was vacating it basically saying, well, you said that you feel like you signed in duress, so now you got to just pay the court the money, because if you sign that stipulation agreement, you're no longer in our jurisdiction and we can't help you. And so basically you need to sign, I mean, you need to pay what you owe by tomorrow, 3 p.m. Otherwise, I would be evicted from my place. I've already paid, as y'all know, the 4,500 towards May's rent, but I still need to cover June. I had planned to use the money that I paid for June's rent to pay the I plan to use the money that I paid to pay for June's rent. So, you know, the money I used to pay for May, the past due, I just knew that they were going to accept the money. So I had already foresaw like May would be taken care of. And then that money that I gave them for May would have been for June. And then I would have been good. And July came around and everything would be fine. But it took a left turn, as this season has just constantly been doing. And it just, yeah, it shook me a bit. Whereas, like, you know, it's not working out how I intended, right? Because the apartment refused to sign the consent form to accept the payment. So I had to use the money that I had intended to pay for June to pay May's past due rent, plus the late fees, plus the legal fees. So I'm not one to ask for help, but this has gotten me way out of my comfort zone, like for real, um, on a whole nother level than I've ever experienced, period. And I'm gonna be 100%. I'm very uncomfortable talking to y'all about this. I'm very uncomfortable revealing like what's going on, but I have to share. I have to share because I need I would appreciate help from my community. So I'm asking my community, if you can help, any contribution toward this rent would mean the world. I'll keep everything transparent. I will definitely document. I wanted to use like a GoFundMe, but GoFundMe does not pay, you know, immediately, and this is due tomorrow. And so GoFundMe takes, I believe, like 5 days after each transaction. It takes about 5 days for the process and for you to receive it. So the way, you know, that's why I'm not doing a GoFundMe, and that's why I'm asking it to be sent differently, direct to me. But like I said, I'll keep everything transparent, how much money I received total. And I'll look also though into, because I did see some other sites like GoFundMe. I just don't know of them like GoFundMe, you know. So I have to vet them out. But this is also urgent. So that's why I'm using like a different payment. But additionally, I have created an offer for a music artist. I'll help music artists. If you are a music artist, I'll help you. If you're particularly a singer, songwriter, excuse me, a songwriter or a composer, I'll help you implement sustainable career systems that I've learned from all of my mistakes, which is what I have been building over the last couple of months. Just making sure all my infrastructure is in place. And those were the things that I was missing, which is why you know, I felt like I had to be a teacher. I had to do that to sustain myself. But you can sustain yourself as a music artist. You just have to have your infrastructure in place. A lot of music artists, particularly, I'm speaking particularly to those music artists that are songwriters and composers. Like a lot of times we don't know that. A lot of people do not teach us that. We have to teach ourselves that, and a lot of people do not share that information. And so, you know, the people in our lives who are not creators, if we don't come from a creative family, they are definitely not pushing us to go that path, right? They're pushing us to go down another path that really does not satisfy us I'm talking about on the cellular soul level, and it really does dim our light, and it really does really does harm us. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's not for everybody to get, but it is the truth. Okay, so I have created an offer for music artists to help implement a sustainable music career system or a sustainable career system. And these are the things I've learned. I paid attorneys over like the last 4 years, really last 4 to 5 years. Actually, since I've been working on this album, Juno the Late Bloomer, that whole process, that's been like a 7 year process getting that done just because of life. And so over all that time, it was like I was finding myself putting pieces together to get to finally this point where I have to put it into place. But anyway, you can either support the immediate need, right? Um, by making a contribution, or if you feel more comfortable and you are a composer or a songwriter and you want to, get out of that rat race and create your own systems and put things in place so that you can be able to start receiving your money via for your music. You know what I'm saying? Because of your music and utilizing the different streams of income that your music can be, then you can work with me through this service. And if that makes you feel more comfortable to pay me for a service rather than, just making an open donation, you can pay me through that service. Okay. I truly appreciate your support and I'm grateful for you reading this. I put together earlier today a music checklist for independent artists. It's a starter checklist. It's free, it's complimentary. I did a live about it. I'm about to post it in my stories and in my bio. It's complimentary. It costs nothing to you. If I'm speaking to you because you are a music artist, that's specifically for you, those who are composers and songwriters. And then I'm offering a do it for you service. Well, I'll do it all for you. I'll do it for $500. It's valued at $2,500. I'll help you set up everything. I'll do it for you. Not even help. I'll set it all up for you. I'll make sure you have your pro registered. I'll make sure that you're registered with the MLC. We'll get through, have some consultations on your identity as an artist. You know what I'm saying? We'll get clear on that. I'll build out your website. I'll build your EPK. I'll do quite a few things. If you want to know all those services, you can watch that video, but also I'll be posting it in my stories shortly. And then if you are the type of person like me, because you can do these things yourself, you know what I'm saying? That's why I have the checklist. You can do it yourself. But if you're anything like me, where you like to be hands-on, you like, you want to have your kind of might be a little bit of a control freak, and you like to be deeply involved, we don't have to do it for you. We can do it with you, right? And I can go and guide you through that process. We'll do a consultation and we'll go through that checklist together, and we'll go and work on the things that you need to work on. And that is valued at 500. I'll do it for $250. All right. I truly appreciate y'all's support. I'm grateful for you reading this. Um, I'm really grateful. If you like either service or you just simply want to make a contribution, please reach out. To donate, you can send the money to $Remedy via Cash App, which is on the screen, or via Zelle at missshawnette@gmail.com, which is MISS, and then Shawnette, SHAWNNETTE@gmail.com. Thank y'all so much for listening. I see people watching and I'm like, I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous, guys. You have no idea. Hi, what's up, Slimmy? What's good? Good to see you. I didn't even notice that you were there. Passion, what's up, Passion? Thank y'all for listening. If you have any questions while I'm here, I'll stay for a few more minutes so that you can let me know anything that you're thinking, what's on your mind. If you have any suggestions, if you have any resources, that would be greatly appreciated. But otherwise, that is what I'm putting myself out in the front center for people to know what's going on. This is a part of my journey as a late bloomer. And yeah, yeah. So it's so uncomfortable, guys. That's so uncomfortable. This season has been so uncomfortable. They say you have to be careful what you ask for. You really do, because this new level, this next level that I am on, that I've entered. My mentor, one of my mentors today, shout out to Goddess Joey of Collective Sisterhood. She said to me, "Congratulations, you graduated." You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so funny because I had that download about a week ago where like God was showing me that I had graduated a level and now I'm on a new level. And this level is very challenging because it requires a lot of the old mindsets that I've had. Like I can no longer move forward. They no longer serve me, you know. I can no longer be in a place of scarcity, a place of like ego. I can no longer be in a place of, you know, just I have to be in a place where I know abundance is around me at all times in every form, and that includes my resources. And resources are people, places, things. Money is not, and resources is not just money. Abundance is not just money. Wealth looks like anything. It's supply. It could come in any way. It could come in any form, you know, like any way that it could come through. And so it's teaching me to be a better steward of my finances. I'll be honest, I haven't always been a great steward of my finances. This season has been making me really tell like where every dollar goes. Like I get, oftentimes in this season I've gotten just enough for each day. Just enough for each day. Whatever was necessary for me to have on that day, I had it, and that's it. Not a dollar more, not a dollar less. And I had to use every single dollar as it was intended to be used. And this has been like a serious journey, and it has been it's just, you know, whenever I get comfortable, I can't. You know, the moment I get comfortable, the moment I'm like, okay, ooh, it's working out. Woof. Like it's like a left turn. It's like, oh, plot twist. Oh my god. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people who going through something, and like you going through it and you feel like you by yourself. And it may not be the situation. It may be something else. You know what I'm saying? And I just want I just want you to know that it's everything gonna work out. I appreciate my community in advance. I have you know, I mentioned to you guys, you know, I I feel like this, like I said, this pushed me out of my comfort zone today. It really made me, because I have been working on like offers and trying to figure out like what can I offer. I have so many gifts, you know what I'm saying? I have so many skills, and the psychology behind people, you know, you can't offer them too many things because I don't know, it's just how psychology works. You know what I'm saying? It's just how the mind works. So I've been having a very hard time figuring out how to like, you know, not be the teacher that I am, while not being myself, while pushing music first, and helping y'all to understand that I'm a music artist. I make music. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. I make music, but I also teach. You know what I'm saying? I can't help it. Like I teach because that's what I've been grooming over the last couple of years, teaching for two different school systems and a private school, and being the founder of a youth organization for girls. Like I'm a teacher. I can't run from that. You know what I'm saying? I teach, and I have so much immense knowledge because of the fact that I've worked in so many different industries. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, it probably caught them off guard when I filed that motion to set aside. They probably didn't expect that. Like, how she know to file that? Not only did I not go into the courthouse, I filed online. You know what I'm saying? Not only did I file online, I knew what to file. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really, really, really intelligent. And I just be getting so frustrated that why the fuck, excuse my French, like, why is it so hard when I got all this goddamn information? You know what I'm saying? Like I got so much wealth of information and so many skills, and then trying to narrow that shit down to like one thing. You know, I do project management. I can manage a project in my sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm really good with systems. I could see where the holes are. I can see how to make it better. I know how to make it seamless. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with user experience, how to make your experience a good experience. You know what I'm saying? For your user. I'm really good at building shit. I'm a builder. You know what I'm saying? I could build a website. I ain't no goddamn, you know, secret sauce creative agency, but I definitely can build you a nice website. You know what I'm saying? I'm really good with AI. I know how to prompt AI well. I know how to get it to do what I need it to do. You know what I'm saying? I design. I could design graphics. I do it very well. You know, I could write papers. I could write books. I could write songs. I could sing songs. I can do a lot of stuff. I don't even like I can't even conceptualize all the shit I can do because that ain't it. That's a small list. You know what I'm saying? Anything that has to do with writing, I can do it. That's why I was able to write up that motion to set aside and prepare that, you know, and know what it's supposed to look like. It's just a lot. It's a lot. So like if the artist thing ain't who you are or what you want, I got a whole plethora of stuff that I can offer to you if that's what you need. You know what I'm saying? And then I got a solid team. You know, I got a photographer. I got another person who do project management. I got a virtual assistant. I got someone with sound and engineer. You know, I got production people. I got techies. I got like all these people in my pocket. You know what I'm saying that I can connect you to. You know, there's just a lot. So anyway, I said all that to say I'm gonna end this out because I gotta move on. I gotta make some moves. I gotta get this to happen. However, you know, if it resonated with you, definitely send your contribution over to Remedy, RIMI $RIMIDI, and then send or you can send it over via Zelle. That's Cash App, or you can send it over via Zelle to Miss Shawnette at gmail.com. MISSHAWNNETTE at gmail.com. And it, like I said, if you are somebody who's like, you feel more better versus making a contribution, you like to have a service done, you just let me know. I just told you like the many things that I could do. I'm particularly targeting music artists, right? But I'm letting you know that I have so many skills. That's why. But this I'm thankful for this situation, even though it's ugly. But I'm thankful for it because it made me have to get my shit in order. Like it made me have to get my house in order. It made me have to like get the offer and be like, this is what it is. You know, stop BSing. Oh my God. So I appreciate y'all. Um, I'm gonna yeah, that's it, guys. Let me go and get this done. I know y'all got your own stuff going on, so I appreciate you even like taking time to listen. I see that I got people watching. I appreciate that. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If you want to send me a DM or send me a message or reach out to me, feel free to do so. I'm happy to reach out and make the connection. I'm also looking to collaborate with artists right now, and just people in general. So if that sounds like something you're into and you want to do, let me know. I'm totally down for that. I'm totally game. Guys, y'all have a wonderful day. It's been an honor and a pleasure connecting with you. I appreciate it deeply. Y'all have a good one.